You are cold. You are hungry. And the meat in your hands is raw. The sun has just dropped behind the hills, and the temperature has fallen with it. You tear at the flesh with your teeth, chewing, chewing, chewing. It takes forever. Your jaw aches before your stomach is even half full. For most of the animal kingdom, this is simply life. But for your ancestors, something changed. Something that may have rewritten what it means to be human. Now imagine it never happened. Imagine your ancestors never discovered fire. It sounds like a small thing, a missing campfire, a colder night. But the absence of those flickering flames would have rippled across hundreds of thousands of years, reshaping your body, your brain, and the entire story of your species. The truth is that you might not exist at all. So let's ask the real question. What did fire actually do for the creatures who became you? To answer that, you have to go back. Way back, roughly 2 million years, to a landscape of dry grasslands and scattered trees in East Africa. Your ancestor here is not a modern human. This is Homo erectus, an upright walking, tool-using human relative with a brain larger than anything that came before. And somewhere in this deep past, fire entered the story. The evidence is real, and it is scattered across the world. At a site called Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, researchers led by Francesco Berna found burned bone and ash deep inside the cave, dating back roughly 1 million years. Burned, deep inside a cave, where a wildfire could not easily reach. That is one of the oldest strong signs of controlled fire we have ever found. Then there is Gesher Benot in Israel, where archaeologist Nama Goran uncovered clusters of burned flint and seeds nearly 800,000 years old, arranged in patterns that suggest a deliberate hearth, not a random burn, a place where fire was kept. So fire was here, early. But why does it matter so much? The answer lives in a single radical idea. It is called the cooking hypothesis, and it comes from a Harvard primatologist named Richard Wrangham. His argument is simple but enormous. Cooking did not just make food tastier. Cooking made you human. Here is the logic. Raw food is hard work. Your body has to spend enormous energy breaking it down. A chimpanzee, your close living relative, spends around 6 hours a day just chewing. 6 hours. Their teeth are bigger, their guts are longer, and their jaws are built like machines for grinding tough plants and raw flesh. Now think about your own body. Your teeth are small, your jaw is weak, your gut is short. By the standards of a wild primate, you are almost laughably underbuilt for eating raw food. So how did you survive? You didn't have to eat it raw. Cooking is like digesting food before you even swallow it. Heat breaks down tough fibers and unwinds proteins, so your body absorbs far more energy from the very same meal. Cooked food is softer, safer, and dramatically richer in usable calories. Suddenly, a meal that once took hours to chew could be eaten in minutes, and that freed up something precious: time and energy. Here is where it gets staggering. The human brain is an extraordinarily hungry organ. It is only about 2% of your body weight, yet it devours roughly 20% of your energy. A brain like yours is metabolically expensive. It is a luxury that most animals simply cannot afford. So how did your ancestors pay for it? Neuroscientist Susanna Herculano Hausel studied this exact question by counting the actual number of neurons in different brains. Her conclusion was sharp. A primate eating only raw food simply cannot gather enough hours in the day to fuel a brain as large as yours. The math does not work. There are not enough chewing hours in existence. Cooking broke that ceiling. By unlocking more energy from less food in less time, fire effectively subsidized the growth of the human brain. The campfire became the engine of intelligence. Now strip it all away. Imagine the spark never caught. The lightning-struck branch is never carried back to camp. The friction of stick against stick is never understood. Your ancestors stay raw eaters forever. What happens to them? For one, they stay small-brained. Without the energy surplus that cooking provides, that expensive glowing brain never gets funded. Homo erectus might have remained much closer to its ancestors, a clever upright ape, but not the launch pad for everything that followed. The slow, steady swelling of the human skull across the ages may have simply stalled. Their bodies would look different too. They would keep the heavy jaw, the large grinding teeth, the long winding gut needed to process raw food. The delicate, small-toothed, short-gutted body you carry right now is, in a very real sense, a body shaped by the assumption that dinner would be cooked, and the day itself would feel unrecognizable. Picture it. Your ancestors wake at dawn and immediately begin foraging, not just to find food, but because eating it will consume half their waking hours. There is no spare time, no long afternoon to make tools, plan a hunt, or simply sit and think. Survival eats the entire day, one slow mouthful at a time. But the loss runs deeper than calories and skulls, because fire did something else, something we almost forget. It pushed back the dark. For your raw-eating ancestors, the setting sun was a wall. When night fell, the world became a place of predators and cold, and there was nothing to do but huddle and wait for morning. Their day ended when the light did. Fire shattered that wall. Anthropologist Poli Wiesner studied the Juhuanzi, a hunter-gatherer people of the Kalahari, and noticed something fascinating about their conversations. During the daytime, their talk was practical. Land, food, disputes, the business of staying alive. But at night, around the fire, the talk transformed. It turned to stories, to distant people, to spirits, to the imagination, to the things that bind a group together across time. The firelit night, Wiesner argued, was the birthplace of culture itself. Without it, those long hours of shared storytelling never happen. The myths, the traditions, the collective memory of a people, all of it starves in the dark. So here is your counterintuitive twist, and it is a big one. We tend to think of fire as a tool, a convenience, a nice warm thing at the end of a cold day. But fire was never just a tool. Fire was a kind of external stomach and an external sun, all at once. It digested your food, and it extended your day, and in doing both, it quietly built the creature you are. You are not a human who happens to use fire. You may be a human because of it. Now let this settle onto your own life for a moment. Tonight, you will likely flip a switch and the dark will vanish. You will heat something, eat it in minutes, and barely think about the chewing. You will sit up late, long after the sun is gone, talking or reading or dreaming about things that have nothing to do with immediate survival. Every one of those ordinary acts is an inheritance, a gift handed down from an ancestor who, against the odds, kept the flame alive through the night and never let it die. Your small teeth, your enormous brain, your love of stories told in the dark. All of it traces back to that fragile, flickering light. So picture yourself once more in that cold, hungry, fireless world. The meat raw in your hands, the dark closing in, the long silent night ahead with nothing to do but wait. That was the path your ancestors did not take. And because they didn't, you are warm, you are fed, and the night is yours.